If you teach anything at all and you don't want your students or your delegates flapping around like a bunch of maniacal seagulls trying to figure out what you're teaching or how to keep up with you, please can I teach you how to teach as somebody who has 2 degrees in teacher training and has been teaching for 20 years. I know, ain't it 21? Stop it. Right, I teach people how to teach. I've done it for a very, very long time. I'm a professional speaker and I run an education company, and they are 7-figure businesses. And I want to share with you how important it is if you speak, if you teach anything at all, whether it's online or in person, please make sure, please close up eyeball for dramatic effect. Can you always start with the finished result? It is so important when you're teaching something to start with the end product, to start with, here's what it will look like when you're done. Have you ever tried to cook a recipe, right? Look at any recipe book, look at any of those free frickin' blogs that tell someone's life story before they even get to the frickin' recipe. Let's not even talk about how annoying that is. Anyway, the point is, every single recipe book, every single recipe guide will show you the finished picture of the lovely, perfect dish that you're about to eat before you eat it. Nom 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 nom. Because people have to see the finished result before they can start making the thing they want to finish. It is actually part of the way our biology creates learning pathways. Now, I'm not going to go into how neurons work and all that kind of fancy stuff. You've got ChatGPT and Gemini if you want to be that dorky. It took me 7 years to learn that shit in bloody university, and now you guys can just Google it. Anyway, the point is, people can only understand when they're going somewhere new, the journey they need to go on when they see the destination first. So please, if you're teaching especially a skill-based topic, if you're going to show someone how to do anything, whether it's mowing a lawn, making a flower arrangement, creating a complicated NaN automation, how to set up a Facebook ad, please show the finished result first. Say, here's what it looks like when it's done, here's what we're going to make, here's the photo of the dish when it's finished, because this actually helps the neural pathways form to able to tell people and see where they are going. And believe me, this actually is what creates and facilitates the learning journey. So that is the first thing. You show them what they're going to make. You show them the end result. Then you must do the full demonstration first. So again, whether it's putting on the makeup, mowing the lawn, making the automation, setting up the tech, it doesn't matter what skill you're teaching. After you've shown them the finished result, the whole thing, then you're going to demonstrate making the whole thing. So let's go back to the recipe. You've shown them the picture of the end result. Then you're going to literally say, everyone sit back and watch. I'm going to now make the dish for you and show you the whole process. Because now what this is doing is showing people how to do it in a way that is helping their learning neurons. And I know that's not a scientific way of explaining it. I'm trying to talk normal people language here. It's literally showing them the path. This is called almost like the vicarious experience of learning. When they see how, then they can do the how afterwards. Then third step, show them the result, you've demonstrated the whole process. Then you get the students to then do the thing. You're going to get them to do the thing one step at a time. Now, if you're presenting this, if you're teaching this, please have the step one step at a time, one slide at a time, one page at a time if it's a workbook, one screen at a time if you're screen sharing. Step one, as you've now seen the finished result, you've seen me do it myself, let's do step one together. And the only instruction on slide one, screen one, or page one of the workbook should be, this is what you're doing right now. Get them to do that thing with you at the same time as you're doing it. Let's walk through step one together. Everyone click here, everyone open this bucket, everyone take out this cloth, everyone pick up this tool together. Has everyone done it? Now, in my workshops, I will do things like get everyone to raise their hands when they've done it, put on a hat when they've done it, put on a pair of silly glasses when they've done it, if it's a physical room. If it's a Zoom room or you're online teaching, get them to put an emoji on the screen when they've done it, get them to write done when they've done it. And using something like Zoom, they can put their hand up when they've done it, right? This is really important because then you know everyone's done step one. Awesome. Who needs help? Who's got questions? Ask that before you move to step two. Brilliant. Answer the questions. Now we're going to move to step two. You get the point, right? This is teaching 101, and I'm not saying this to discredit any facilitators or presenters, but what I always find is that people who are absolutely incredible at their craft myself included, we suffer from a phenomena called the curse of knowledge. The curse of knowledge is a genuine phenomena. Google that too, right? Gemini, ChatGPT, that one. Is a phenomena whereby when you have mastered something to a degree at which it's completely automatic for you, you are literally unable to remember not knowing it. It's true. So it's really hard for you to remember being that novice, that newbie, day one of learning a new language. And this is what learning any new skill is like. And you as a teacher or a facilitator or a presenter needs to remember when you're teaching something on stage. It's a little bit like telling someone to learn a new language, standing up on stage and just speaking fluently in that new language and expecting everyone to just get it because you've said it. You cannot jump straight into let's do the thing because they haven't yet seen it, heard it, understood it, or visualized any part of it at all. And that just completely creates a barrier to their learning, which will impact you negatively as that teacher, facilitator, presenter, or educator. So there we go, my friends. This is a couple of little tips. And this is the kind of stuff I've been teaching for 20 years as an actual teacher trainer. Well, I did my degrees and things on this. So this is 101. When you are good at what you do, you need to remember to go back to the basics of remembering that the people you're teaching don't know how to do that. And remind yourself very humbly that we need to just double check if we're teaching that thing in both psychological and a sequential manner that actually enables learning rather than creates a degree of confusion that will turn that person away from being even able to engage in that learning process at all. If you want help, if you want guidance, I do it one-on-one. I've got my coaching program, the Legends Lab. Or I can happily sit with you if you're preparing a course, a coaching program, a presentation on stage or online. I do reviews and one-on-one coaching to help people make sure that that is being delivered in a way that not only shows your absolute brilliance and expertise in what you do as the freaking genius that you are, but also to make sure that you are absolutely leaving every single person in that room feeling like they are capable and amazing learners and have the results that you promise them at the end, which is always and only going to look good for you too. Anyway, enjoy that. Peace out.